In East London today, people were happy to enjoy the sun in small groups. Coronavirus means the pool's closed, but tomorrow the UK government's taking the plunge, allowing 6 people to meet outdoors in England. We're still at the second highest level of COVID alert. The government says it will be a precarious moment.
Do you feel like tomorrow is a precarious moment?
I feel relaxed about it. I feel like it's okay as long as people take it seriously and still social distance.
I think it's a bit premature myself. Looking at South Korea, we've seen this, the spike there again. So myself, I'm going to be 2 weeks delayed to see how things pan out.
We should really wait.
Even though it's been a long, long time,
I know, but it's for our own safety. It's up to us really to look after ourselves.
They haven't tried to enforce it, and there's no presence of police. And when there's groups of excess of 15 people and they're hugging and dancing, and it's really a nightmare.
Last month, the Prime Minister said we would gradually unlock in accordance with the COVID alert system.
And if the alert level won't allow it, we will simply wait and go on until we've got it right.
We haven't reached level 3, which allows rules to be relaxed, but the government's doing it anyway.
We're currently at level 4, which wouldn't allow for a relaxation of social distancing. So if the alert level hasn't changed, what has?
The alert level is changing. We are still at level 4, but we're transitioning to level 3, and that does enable us to open up very cautiously some aspects of our businesses and our daily lives. And the steps that we're taking are quite modest. They're opening up car showrooms and forecourts, predominantly an outdoor activity, and then the important, for our well-being, measure of enabling people to meet somebody from outside of their household, but again, outdoors, socially distanced.
Beachgoers could hardly stay socially distant in Dorset yesterday when 3 people who jumped from a cliff had to be airlifted to hospital. A growing number of public health experts are saying we should look before we leap and not relax any rules until the testing and contact tracing system is at full strength.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have the systems in place to ensure effective and quick, rapid case detection, coupled with appropriate quarantining and contact tracing. And unless we've got those systems in place, we really do run the risk of a second spike in cases.
You're no longer following the science but pursuing politics.
That's just simply not true, but the scientists won't always agree, particularly on a new pandemic. And we have saged that group of experts, 25 scientists participating at any one time, precisely so they can hammer through the evidence, and test people's views on it. That's the way we get rigorous advice.
Not everyone's followed rigorous advice. MP Rosie Duffield has stood down from the Labour front bench after breaching lockdown rules in place last month. With the reproduction rate for coronavirus between 0.7 and 0.9, there's not much room for error here. We won't know whether tomorrow's fractional new freedoms in England are a good idea until we get the data.
Meanwhile, in Brazil, the number of coronavirus fatalities has risen by almost 1,000 in a single day, bringing the total number of deaths to nearly 29,000. Despite this, President Bolsonaro has argued the economic fallout of the lockdown is worse than the outbreak itself. Our international editor, Lindsay Hilsum, is in Sao Paulo. Lindsay.
Matt, I'm on Avenida Paulista. That's the central main streets in Sao Paulo. And it's not Minneapolis, but there is a face-off going here. Over here, I think you can see these are the supporters of President Bolsonaro. They are the people who think he's done everything right on COVID-19. I was talking to a lady earlier. She said, look, it's not such a big deal. People are just making too much of it. A couple of 100 yards up the street, maybe you can see now, are the anti-Bolsonaro people, and there's a little tear gas in the air. There's probably maybe 300-400 up there, maybe 200 behind me here, and the police in between. This was a very polarized country before COVID-19, but I think that what this scene behind me demonstrates is how much more polarized it's become. And yet, really, what are they going to do about it? Everybody knows there is a problem. Somebody just said to me, you know, the pro-Bolsonaro people, they think that the country should be half open. and the others think it should be half shut. Is there really such a big difference? It's political, it's not about health.
And Lindsay, you've also been to some of the favelas today. What did you discover there?
Absolutely. So yesterday we were in the favelas, a very peaceful scene compared to this. But you really see who this disease is hitting most. The first people it hit were wealthy people who'd come back from Europe. But then it went to the favelas, where much poorer people live. And of course, they're living on top of each other. Social distancing, they can't possibly do that. So I met one woman, her father had died, a friend had died. Another woman was talking about children who had it. It's so difficult for people there. And there are volunteers going around, taking people's names and giving them not just food, which they would normally need, but need more because they no longer have any work, but also disinfectant and wipes, everything to try and help them keep themselves and their houses clean. But that is a very difficult thing, and that's one reason why the coronavirus is not under control here yet.